Rob Kendall along with Tyler Bless, the head coach of the Plainfield Quakers. Coach, how's it going?
Going well. How are you doing?
Great big win on Friday night. Obviously, another not only just a win, but a strong win for your team. Talk a little bit about the performance and the big win on homecoming.
Yeah, it was a great homecoming win. Probably had our best week of practice we've had, since I've been here as a head coach. We put 4 really good days of work together Monday through Thursday. Challenged our kids to have, a sense of urgency, a fast start, finish strong. I think we were able to do that on Friday. I thought we were able to go out defensively and get stops. They had a really good running back. We knew that going into it. Obviously, they've tried to run the ball, and for the most part, we did a really good job of stopping the run. Offensively, we were really effective. We had 46 plays for 485 yards of offense. Obviously, a number of touchdowns. Luke Starnes had 2. Bryce threw for 4. So special teams was a little bit of a, maybe even you can say like a non-factor just because of how the game kind of went. Being up 35-7 at halftime, and then getting the running clock there in the third quarter certainly moves things along. But was really proud of how our guys handled just the week of preparation and how they kind of responded to our challenges from a coaching staff of having a sense of urgency around practice, making sure we're having the mindset of we're getting to do this rather than having to, and then going out and performing in front of a really good crowd on Friday night. We're able to honor the 2000 state runner-up team for their 25th anniversary, so it was good to see a number of those coaches and players, as well as a great student section and a home crowd for homecoming, and a great weekend to be a part of Plainfield community.
So obviously, we're at week 5 now. Let's talk a little bit, or through week 5 now. Let's talk about your team being 5-0, where you're at. I know we kind of touch on this a little bit each week, but where you guys are at and how you feel like you're progressing as we pass the midway point.
Yeah, I mean, it's the third time in 3 years that we've started 5-0, which is great. Obviously we're starting the season in positions to check our goals and to accomplish our goals. None of those goals are completed yet. But like I said earlier, I think in the show a couple weeks ago, like we're in control of all those things. Obviously we got a big test coming up here Friday at Decatur Central, but that's another kind of chapter in the journey, or another thing that we get to go do as a team. I'm pleased with our progress we're making. I think we're starting to play complementary football. I think we're understanding the importance of having each other's back and having a little bit of a brotherhood here to make sure that each guy on the team does their part to make sure that the team is successful on Friday. So health-wise, we're good. We've got a few guys just banged up from it being week 5. But we're going into a really good week of practice here coming up for a really good game on Friday at Decatur Central.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Obviously, Decatur Central has kind of become a test each year for you guys in terms of what they bring to the table. They're the defending champs. Let's talk a little bit about what that ball game is going to look like on Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they're still a really good football team. They got really good athletes. There's a reason why they've gone back-to-back state games, and obviously won it last year in 5A. On offense, they've got they have speed, they have size. They're putting the ball in the playmakers' hands, which is obviously a great thing to have for those guys. Defensively, they're really good up front. It's probably the best box, 6-man box, 7-man box that we're going to see or have seen this year. Obviously, some of those guys that are playing running back or receiver are also playing defensive back. So it's just another week where we've got to really focus on the fundamentals and the techniques of what we're teaching our guys, and making sure that the margin of error is very slim. This is a game where it's going to be very physical. We know that they're a physical football team. The last time we played them, the 2 times last year, we had our chances and we were able to not, correct those things mid-game. We had chances where we were able to kind of close the door on them, or maybe get get closer to them, but we're never able to really, kick it in. So they'll be really well coached, as they always are. They're going to have a great game plan. But we've got to be able to make sure that we're doing all the things that we are in control of: our attitude, our effort, our physical toughness. We'll put a plan together, we'll execute it, and go like over there and give it hell. But again, another really well coached team by them. But we're not surprised to say that. Obviously, a lot of those guys have been playing for 3 or 4 years, so I'll be happy when I see some of them to graduate.
All right, let's thank our sponsors that make our broadcast possible. Frigid Frog, New Wave Solutions, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, Adrenaline Fundraising, Crest Point Real Estate Coach P, Chris Pearson, Sell with Jones and Stewart Home Group, Remax Sitterstone, Julia Burbridge, Flora Brothers Painting, I-70 Record Service and Garage, Units Moving and Portable Storage, Haynes Roofing and Remodeling LLC, Headquarters Barbershop, Edward Jones, Chris Hoskins, Ellison Associates, BGW Construction, and Legacy Motorsports. All right, so I want to come back to that, Coach. We're in the middle tier of the season, right? You kind of break it up into 3 parts, 3 sets of 3 or 9. Like, how do you start changing the way you do things? When do you start focusing for the postseason? Kind of give us our audience sort of a behind the scenes look at how, from a season perspective, how you go about putting things together and where we're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's we've got to enjoy the time that we have guaranteed left together. I mean, we've got we got 4 guaranteed regular season games left. We have a fifth, guaranteed sectional game. So by no means are we looking towards the end or anything like that. It's just like, hey, for this senior class, their high school football days are numbered, and that's not to be negative or sad, but like we really got to kind of max out everyone's full potential. I want to try to get every ounce of energy or every ounce of good football out of our senior class, and whether those guys are 3-year starters or 2-year or 1-year starters, or a kid that's just finally starting to click for him, and you can kind of see the benefits that he's getting. So I think our kids are understanding that. We're like, you hear the saying like time's a thief, and like football season goes so fast, and we're already into week 6, and it kind of feels like 100 years ago we played at Terre Haute South, but if you kind of think about it, it wasn't that far away. But I think one thing that I love about our football team is just, when we're all together, it's everyone's on the same page. Everyone's got the same goals and wants the same outcome. So it's not, we're not pulling teeth to do that. It's more of like, hey, we've got to just make sure that when we're here, we're maxing everyone's full potential. And that's either a coach or a player or a manager or a guy that's injured, try to get them healthy. But it goes really fast. And when you kind of look at it in that lens of things, I think it opens some of those kids' eyes of like, okay, I really got to make sure that I don't just come in and check a box and waste the practice and just get through it because it's hot out or it's Tuesday or I had a test or whatever. So our kids are really mature on that end of understanding that, the time we have together is very valuable. We all love each other and want to see each other succeed. We just don't want it to end anytime soon.
What is one of the things you've been most surprised about your team so far through 5 games? Does anything stand out where you say, hey, man, we're doing this really well, and I kind of had some concerns about that?
I think our offensive line is playing really well. That was I don't want to say a concern of ours going into it, but there were some question marks on what we could do and how we were going to do it. Obviously, when we have a 3-year center with Harrison Lehman there to kind of be the backbone of that 5-man offensive line helps. Getting a senior moving, Connor Duneau has been great. He's done a great job of leadership. Obviously, he's one of our captains. But then the guys around him hasn't been a shuffling board, but it's certainly been, with some of the injuries we've had, we're getting to the point where those guys are starting to finally mesh and really do a good job. They've protected our quarterback in the passing game. I think each week they're getting better in our run game and our run schemes. It's not easy to play offensive line. I've never done it. I don't have any desire to. So I think the work that they're putting in is finally paying off. But that's a group that I'm very proud of just how they've stuck together, and whether it's been a new starting five from week 2 to week 4 to last week, they're putting the team first, and they're putting their teammates first. So that's what I'm most proud of. And also, I think the best thing that is going on with us right now is none of our kids are really driven by their own personal stats, and I got to do this and I got to do that. We just got 75 kids that want to be a part of something bigger than themselves, and they want to go do something that hasn't been done here in a long time. So we've got a lot of guys that are putting the team first, and just want to continue to play football as long as we possibly can.
Pretty hard to say this because you're 5-0 and all the wins except for one have been pretty dominant. But anywhere you look at and you go, we got to do better at that.
I think we can always do better. I mean, whether it's me, being a better head coach to our players and our coaching staff and our parents, or how we can be better with the time that we have with our kids, whether that's weight room, whether that's in meetings or practices. Like we're going to have fall break here come up soon, so that's going to be some time that we don't have to attend school. So we'll have to have a different kind of schedule. But I think there's always ways and always procedures on which you can do better. I don't have a clear-cut, defined answer on that, but what I keep telling myself is, like, we haven't really done anything other than, our expectation is to win every game. So I don't know why we would move away from that. Obviously, we want to be playing our best football towards the end of the season. I think we're making progress towards that. Our kids understand that. We want to win at home. We want to win the mid-state. We want to play good football in October and into November. So we're doing all those things that we want to do, but that's also because we've worked at it and our kids have bought in and are doing the things that we're asking them to do. So we're climbing the mountain. We're certainly heading in the right direction, but we've got to continue to do it every single day, not just on Friday nights.
All right, Coach, let's get a big win on Friday night. Always a fun game at Decatur Central. Look forward to calling the ball game on Friday night and then talking to you next week, hopefully about a 6-0 squad.
Yep, absolutely. Have a great week.
You too.